Now we want to look at acid nomenclature, which is really kind of a subcategory of ionic nomenclature. We're still dealing with inorganic compounds, and what we're going to look at here is that we want to determine names for both binary acids, and we want to be able to recognize the names of oxyacids. We won't get into all the rules of oxyacids, but it is a good idea to be familiar with how they're named so that you can recognize them when you see them. So let's look first at binary acids. So binary acids, okay, that bi means two. So we have two elements in that compound. So we have an acid with two elements, okay. And what we also find is that it's a substance, and an acid is a substance that yields hydrogen ions when dissolved in water. And so naming binary acids is pretty easy. So what we do is we add the hydro as a prefix, we add ic as a suffix. So a couple of examples given here are hydrofluoric acid. So we had HF, so we added our hydro at the beginning. We had the ic and acid at the end, so hydrofluoric acid. Make sure you pay attention to the spelling of fluorine, which is F-L-U-O-R, not O-U-R. So make sure you check the spelling on that anytime you're dealing with fluorine. We can also have hydrosulfuric acid. So we have sulfur, and so it becomes sulfuric acid at the end, but it's hydrosulfuric acid. Now this is very different than what we know as sulfuric acid, which is H2SO4. So hydrosulfuric acid and sulfuric acid are two very different things. If we look at something like HCl, again we have chlorine, so the ending is going to become chloric acid. We put a hydro at the beginning, so we end up with hydrochloric acid. And we can do that for all of our binary acids. So those acids containing two different elements. One of those is going to be hydrogen typically, and the other is one of our non-metals that's forming that typically forms an ion. Now, when we look at the oxyacids, we see a couple of different things. One, we notice there are definitely more than two elements here. Here we've got our hydrogen, so these are the white atoms here. Okay. We've got some oxygens here. These are our red atoms. And what we have here in the middle is actually our sulfur atom. So this is actually H2SO4, and it has the name sulfuric acid. Okay. Over here we have a different acid. We have one hydrogen. We have three oxygens here, the red atoms, and we have something here in the middle. That's a nitrogen there in the middle, and so we have HNO3, and this is known as nitric acid. And we'll see these oxyacids form from those oxyanions, which are in that list of polyatomic ions. So whether we have nitrate, we form nitric acid. If we have nitrite, we actually form nitrous acid. The thing that you want to worry about is recognizing that we take a oxyanion, a polyatomic oxyanion, and it forms an acid. And those are what make up our oxyacids.